Welcome to the Hot and Healthy Show, conversations that change the way women work and live. I'm your host, Nicole van Hattem, holistic success coach, TEDx speaker and best-selling author. It is my pleasure to introduce you to Sharon Wood. Sharon is here to help us embrace our natural rhythm of life and become intuitive to our emotional, physical and social needs throughout our menstrual cycle. Using the Emgoddess tools and resources to recognize the 4 phases of our menstrual cycle and how insight and intuition into this phenomenon can inspire you to take control of your life and embrace the power that is womanhood. Sharon Wood is the founder of Emgoddess, a unique entity focused on changing perceptions and attitudes towards a topic not overtly discussed, a woman's monthly cycle. Sharon holds qualifications in holistic aromatherapy from the Tisserand Institute of London and certifications in herbalism, natural fertility management, and specialised aromatherapy. Today's topic is Embrace Your Natural Rhythm. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm so excited. I have interviewed you before on the Hot and Healthy podcast. It was quite some time ago.
It was, yeah.
And we have an interesting story in how we met. I'm just going to share that with you. I was going to a local community market. I walked past this, I don't know what energy made me stop, but I saw Sharon, I saw what she had to offer, and I was like, this is amazing and the world needs to know about it. So how did this come about, this product and this book?
So my story is, like everyone's, it always has a journey, doesn't it? So, but as a younger person, I had low self-esteem. I didn't really know why I felt the way I did when I felt it, but I was always in turmoil about how I felt each and every day, and I couldn't pin why. I couldn't understand why it was. So when I was as I was getting older, I went to study aromatherapy in London, and that's when I started to learn more about my body and how it works and why I feel the way I did. And it was fascinating to me. I sort of learnt more about my body, and as I understood more about my cycle, it made more sense to me. So that's put me on a journey of research, and it was this where I started to realise that actually it's not something that didn't exist before. I haven't created something. It's been out there forever, but women just don't talk about it, and I couldn't understand why.
It's something so important and so much a part of us and how we operate in the world. Why is it that we don't talk about it?
That always puzzled me as well, because we just don't. And even today, menstrual shame is one of the hugest things that women will not talk about. Menstruation or any other sort of any other issue that is women only. So even, breastfeeding, birthing, a lot of women have a lot of embarrassment about it. But and it's been over the centuries, to be honest. And actually, there's research that's done recently that sort of showed that it was from many years ago that men in the 1950s, they didn't understand why women felt the way they did. So they sort of put it into a category of then it must be bad.
Just because it's not understood doesn't mean it's bad.
And it's funny, it's things like that actually then have influenced history, if you like, and it's now we're starting to sort of take a bit of that back, I think, as women, and this is something that we can all do, and it's so powerful when you understand it. And I just couldn't understand why we don't learn it as a younger person, because it's so easy, and then once you learn it, you know it for life. But women of my age, it's funny, I would work with them and I speak with them, and they come up to me at the end of the workshop and go, I know all of this, but I've actually never been taught it in a way that makes sense.
Okay, right.
Yeah. And
so
that's
they
what
sort
this
of
is
get
about.
a vague sense of it, but not something that they can hold on to and say, this is what's going on, this is the stage that I'm at.
Yeah.
Let's walk people through the
Sure.
stages. Because you've called them goddesses, which I think is divine.
So I called them goddesses because each of the goddesses I chose really it represents the energy of that phase. So as women, we go through 4 phases each month, and we start in a phase where we've got lots of energy, we're really clear, we're feeling light. It's day 5 to day 12 in our period, and we have a lot of energy. We've finished menstruating, so we're feeling clear and focused. And that's because we've had a huge increase of estrogen and progesterone in our body, and that gives us energy. And so it's not just something that I'm pulling out of the sky, so to speak. It is actually a physical thing that's going on in our body. And it impacts our skin. We have, the increase in estrogen and progesterone usually clears up our skin. So we have better skin, we have better muscles, better muscle tone, more energy.
Really, that quickly?
Yes. So in that first phase of the month, there is a definite increase in all of these different physical conditions to our body as well. Then you move into around ovulation. So ovulation is a shorter phase. It's a time where we're obviously ovulating, so it's a time for procreation, so you have to be careful. But what it is it's a time where we're a lot more loving, we're a lot more empathetic, we're a lot more understanding. It's a time where we want to give. It's a lot more outward as a phase, and we're more interested in people and others, and we're sort of less self-focused. And that, unfortunately, is a shorter period.
Shame.
Yeah, shame. It's a short one. And then we move into a phase that's got the bad rap, and that's our Persephone phase. So our goddess that she's got a bit of a reputation. She's feisty, she's frustrated, she can be a bit cranky, and all those things are absolutely true. They have aspects of that in our cycle, but that phase is also incredibly powerful and incredibly passionate. So if you do anything creative, that's an amazing phase of your cycle to do it in. And then we move into the phase which is surrounded by menstruation, which is Hecate, I call it, and that's a more inward reflective phase. And you're a bit tired, your energy's a bit lower. Again, that you've had a big decrease in progesterone and estrogen, so you're a bit flat and you're starting to just build up again. And so all of these phases, you can see I've described in very short description, but each phase has a very positive aspects to it, and we only focus on the negative, and we only focus on one phase. And I couldn't understand that. It's sort of like, a bad analogy maybe is, a teacher has a class full of students, and the teacher knows about it when all the students fail and they're really bad. But when the students are doing really well and they pass all their exams and they do great, everyone congratulates the students,
right?
And they don't give the teacher any credit. And it's the same with the menstrual cycle. We only ever talk menstrual cycle when it's the bad aspects.
Right.
We don't actually give it any of the credit for the good.
Or leverage it. That's a really good thing to say, well, what cycle am I in? Where are the strengths of this cycle? And how can I use that to enhance my relationships or do better in my business or solve a problem? Maybe this is a good time to address an issue that shouldn't be addressed at different times of your cycle.
Absolutely. So for me, I would highly recommend that if you've got decisions to make, you've got goals to set, you've got work to do, Daphne's a great phase to do that in, which is that 5 to 12, day 5 to day 12 in your cycle. So she's that really energetic, enthusiastic,
That's me right now, and I definitely feel like what you described.
There you go.
As opposed to a few days ago when I was not.
Yes. And then you move into Demeter, which is that motherly phase, that earth motherly phase. And that's a really great phase if you, as a professional woman, if you have staff and you need to do performance reviews or you need to do some sort of development, professional development, imagine that's a great time to do it, because it's all about nurturing others. Right. So you're a lot more empathetic, you're a lot more understanding, and you're a bit more patient and calm. And then when you move into Persephone, where you're feisty and maybe a bit frustrated, that is definitely not the time to do. Well, that's definitely not the time to do performance reviews on staff either. Like, you know that you're a little bit tense, and you've got stuff going on. So that's the time to give yourself more breaks, to make sure that you've scheduled some time for you. And then moving into Hecate, where I am now, so today isn't an outward day for me. So I'm
doing really well to be interviewed today.
I think that, I think the beauty of understanding your cycle like this, it enabled me to get up this morning and go, okay, I'm probably not on my game like I would normally be in a Daphne or even in a Persephone. So today it was really about making sure that I spent some time this morning having some rest and not actually being in everyone's face, making sure that I was really prepared, had everything so I didn't rush. I got here really early. And so knowing where I was in my cycle, I was able to just support myself. And I think if we as women all could do that more and help that for each other as well, we would just live in a lot more, we'd be a lot more calming, we'd be a lot more, and we'd give ourselves a bit more time and a bit more, bit of a break.
Wouldn't be so hard on ourselves. No. So I can see that this would be fantastic if you're in a family of girls. Okay, you're a mum and you've got a couple of daughters and everyone's at different stages of their cycles. It would really help to be able to have a language which was non-threatening and non-judgmental, just going, well, where are you at with your cycle?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm in Hecate. Well, okay.
That's right.
Don't worry about the dishes.
That's right. Here's some chocolate. And that is it. Like my husband, he when I'm in Persephone, so that's the feisty phase when we're premenstrual, instead of looking at me and going, gee, you are cranky, so-and-so, he can say to me, what phase are you in? That phase where she's a little bit feisty. And
do you not feel like scratching his eyes out at that point?
No.
Just going, maybe I'm actually just annoyed with you.
And I don't, because I take Persephone as a compliment.
Right.
Because when I understand that in that phase, I'm also really powerful, I'm also really creative, and I'm also really passionate. Useful. So I look at that phase and go, yeah, and she rocks.
Yeah, nice.
So I think it does. It gives a language. It allows us to speak in, as you say, a non-threatened environment, and I think that's really important too.
It would also make it easier for males who have no idea what we're going through, have a language that they feel safe to talk about as well, because we're confusing.
Yeah, for absolutely.
We've got 4 different mood cycles or profiles within one month.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that my favourite group that I spoke to a little while ago now were single dads. So this bunch of single dads that had these teenage girls that were like, who are they? Where has my princess gone? and it was the best fun. We had a small group of men who I was able to stand and tell them, it's going to be okay, and don't fob it off and go, go, okay, you're in this phase. What do I need to do to support? And it was a really, really fabulous workshop.
Change the conversation in the house.
Absolutely.
What about those people who say, oh, that's ridiculous. Don't worry about your cycles. Suck it up. Get on with work. Put your big girl pants on. All those conversations that people have that make it seem like, don't use it as an excuse that you've got your period or that you're ovulating or whatever. How do you respond to that? My response is that they're missing out. I think instead of embracing it for what it is, which is, and you said it perfectly, I'll just suck it up and move on. The fact is, we are different people, and females are innately, we have all different moods and emotions and support. I get really a little bit frustrated when I hear, for example, people say leadership qualities. Oh, you need to be strong, you need to be focused, you need to be determined. I think
Yeah, you do, but you also need to be compassionate and you need to be understanding and then you need to be focused and then you need to know when to be quiet. We have these phases naturally within our cycle, and if we embrace that, imagine as a leader how we could be just a much more rounded leader than just this carbon copy, type of leadership. So I think as women, if we understood it, it is a gift. And I know some people roll their eyes, my daughter being one of them. Really? She was like, a gift? Are you kidding?
For the next 30 years.
That's right.
40 years.
That's right. And she looks at me but I say it is, because we have this internal clock that tells us what's going on, and if we don't have to focus like a lot on it, we don't have to get up in the morning and all we think about, we just have to have a little bit of mindfulness around it each day. Just be, where am I, how am I feeling, and what's going on, and that's all I do, and it has made such a big difference to my life.
And I can imagine you would look at where you're at in your cycle, look at what you have to do that day. Is there something that could be better scheduled for another time? Because you could be more effective, have a better outcome, or you're just in your warrior power mode, and other things that you might invite in?
Exactly.
Would you do things differently?
Yeah. And just, some days you sit there and you think, what's going on? Why can't I get this to work? And you just sit there and sometimes do nothing. Instead, you could go, okay, where am I? What's going on? Maybe I should just reschedule this and I'll go and do something else. Right. I'll go and pick up my pencils and paper and do some drawing instead, because I can't quite focus.
You could also have a different conversation within your own mind about who you are and I'm an extrovert. I'm not sure if anyone's aware of that. But there are times where I'm like, I want to retreat and just take care of me, and I haven't got, as you say, my A game on. I'm not feeling like I want to be out there in the world giving it my all. I actually just want to withdraw a little bit. And instead of saying, is there something wrong with me? No. Actually, everything's fine. You're just going through your natural rhythm.
And that's probably what got me on the path, as I said, in the first place, was I couldn't understand why I was so kind and sweet some days and so ferocious others. I couldn't understand it. And what's going on with me? And the truth was, it was nothing. It was just where I was in my cycle. And we think about it from a clothing point of view. How often do you put on an outfit and you think, I look smoking hot?
Right.
Like often. You go, I am smoking hot. And then you can put on that very same outfit the next week and burst into tears.
Right.
And just go, you haven't gained a lot of weight. You haven't changed your physique. You haven't changed your hair. The only thing that's changed is the day in your cycle.
So, okay, it's not an excuse.
No.
I'm in this phase, therefore I can't or I should.
No, there was no way I was cancelling today because I had my period. That's not going to happen. So it's not an excuse, it's a tool. It's a tool to go, okay, well, you're going to be a little bit low in energy, so make sure you rest. It's not an excuse, I'm in Persephone, I'm going to be feisty and nasty. No, it means I'm going to be passionate and driven, but if I can feel that I'm getting angry, I can understand, okay, you're in Persephone, go and breathe, go and take a walk.
So where do the essential oils come into this?
So I created the essential oils with Sal Battaglia from Perfect Potion. So Perfect Potion are friends of mine from years. I worked with them as a young aromatherapist. And Sal and I spoke about the oils. So I gave him the feeling that I wanted to get from the oils, and then he helped me create these divine blends. So Daphne, for example, is full of citrus oils. Can I grab them?
Absolutely.
So it's full of citrus oils. So I know it's not a smelling show, so sorry, only
Ooh,
Nicole.
That is fresh.
So Daphne's fresh, and when I think about the phase, it's that phase of high energy, and it's really focused. So if you've got study to do, or if you've got to punch out a fair bit of work, you burn this essential oil in your environment, and it really helps you to keep that focus and to keep that energy. So if you're feeling flat, you can use it. You obviously can use it at different times of the month as well. So say you are in Hecate and you're really tired, you might want to use the Daphne to help give you a bit of upness. But I use them mainly to support the phase. So I use them within the phase to enhance the phase more. Right. So essential oils like that you can put into a diffuser. You can put a few drops on a tissue and pop it into your top. You can use them in massage, but you do need to dilute essential oils. Don't use them neat onto your skin, and unless you're definitely sure.
No topical, no ingestibles.
No.
All topical,
yeah, this is all topical. No. Yeah, so you can use them in many ways, but I suggest just using them that way. But so Daphne's, you're full of your citrus and your energy and your basil, things to really get you focused.
Yeah.
Then you move into your phase of Demeter, which I've talked about, that compassionate, loving phase. So these essential oils are filled with all my floral oils.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, I do. They're filled with my floral oils.
Wow. Yeah. It's not anything like that.
No, it's the blends are divine, and I'm not just saying that. I actually tried to put the blends together initially, and they smell awful. Sal has done just the most magic roll. It's incredible. But and you think about essential oils. Why do we give flowers? We give flowers for love, and we give flowers for sadness. And these oils are all about the heart oils. So this is that time of the month when we're really compassionate, we're caring about others. So that's why Demeter is filled with those lovely floral oils. So lots of oils to help nurture and calm. Beautiful oil to just be blending, burning at home, just for a nice, loving, nurturing environment at home. So I often burn that one at night for the family.
Lovely.
Yeah. Again, then you move into Persephone. Now, she's the one, as I mentioned, poor old Persephone. She's got the
rap. She gets a bad rap.
Oh, she does.
But we do like her.
We love her because she's full of passion and creativity. Now, this is filled with oils that are just all about that. So these essential oils will help to enhance creativity, to help to inspire and rejuvenate those sorts of energies inside you. And it's another very sensual oil. It's got a lot of patchouli and oils, again, that really enhance and encourage love.
Liking that one too.
It is, yeah, that's a nice one.
Do they smell different and appeal differently to you at different times of your phases?
Absolutely. So this is my favourite oil, and I'm in Hecate, so I'm holding myself back from pouring it all over me today. But it's a more subtle blend, so it's very complicated, but it's got a lot of protection oils in there. So essential oils like frankincense, they help protect you from, if you like, things outside yourself. And these essential oils do that. This is a very calming, protective oil, and I love using it in Hecate when we're feeling a little bit vulnerable, and sometimes, you're feeling a bit like you just want to retract. Well, this oil just helps to protect and nurture you. So, yeah.
But so what should we have here for people that come onto the show?
Well, Persephone would be beautiful to help with that creativity, because it's all about passion, and all your guests, I imagine, are very passionate about what they talk about.
They're also running on adrenaline when they come onto the show. Would that be a good combination?
That's it. You might have loopy loops. Yeah. But it's all, so you've got that, or you might want something that calms them and relaxes them, and that's more Demeter. Or you might want, if somebody's feeling a bit distracted and a little bit all over the shop, Daphne will help them focus.
Oh, I love that.
So you
not just for women, men can use them as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, what about when we no longer have a period? We don't have a menstrual cycle. We're still having hormonal changes.
That's right.
Is this still applicable for people who no longer have a cycle?
Absolutely, and it's also applicable for people that are on the pill and or have a Mirena in or and don't have a period, because we still have a cycle. So the cycle is never ending. I hate to tell you, there is no end. But it changes, and I think it's just like anything with Emgoddess. One of the things I do get women to do is to chart, and so they learn to chart on a piece of paper. And once you've done that for a while, you don't need to do it. But then when you start moving into perimenopausal and menopausal, I encourage women to chart again, just to see if there's any cycle that comes up for them, and often there is. It just changes. It may be, longer phases and shorter phases. Yeah.
Fabulous. And tell us about the book. So that explains each of the 4 phases.
That's right.
And it explains the different personalities of the goddesses.
It does. So my book sort of explains everything that I've said in more detail there. So it talks through why we should chart, what are the benefits, and then it talks about each of the phases more in depth. And then at the end, it talks about the essential oils and blends that you could possibly use and how you could use them. And finally finishing with, well, why is this important? And I suppose it's important for me because imagine just being able to understand every day that what your strengths are of that phase, and it just makes such a big difference. Yeah.
I like the idea that I'm going to be able to understand my girlfriends more. And be able to say to them, I'm in this phase, I might show up like this today, or this might be a little bit more challenging or a little easier for me today. Where are you? And have that conversation with them as well.
Absolutely.
Where can they get the oils?
So you can purchase them on my website at emgoddess.com.au, or you can purchase them at any Perfect Potion store across Australia.
What a great gift for Mother's Day, birthdays, Nicole Day, guests on the show, someone who's having their period for the first time. What a beautiful way to ease them into the gift that they're going to have for the next half a century. For someone who's maybe approaching menopause and shifting again into another phase of life. Any other reasons?
Look, I just think a lot of women, and as I mentioned earlier, we're not taught this, and I think if we were, if we all stopped and just celebrated it a little bit, like as I said, we don't have to dance in the streets, throwing tampons. We just have to just maybe, just quietly enjoy it. And I do really sort of wanted to say more about that, in the sense that you don't have to be radical. And you don't have to be out there. This is for women of all professions and young and old to just understand themselves a bit better and then acknowledge it and move on with it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for creating this.
Thank you.
And not only do they smell divine, but the whole concept is just gorgeous, and you've given us a brand new language, a love language, to really embrace our gift for the time that we have it and to understand each other better. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
If you like this episode, make sure you hit the subscribe button and go and check out all our other videos. I'll see you in the next one.